Saying yes and are the two most powerful words in improv and a core value of mine that can help you grow your business and relationships. What's good? It's Rob Cressy, and I spent 4 years studying improv and comedy writing at Second City, the #1 comedy training center in the world, and adopting the yes and mindset and lifestyle into my business has created so much growth and opportunities. And what I wanted to do was share the lessons that I've learned on my journey to help you understand how you can leverage this into yours to create more power in your business and your life. And I'm going to break this down very simply in 5 ways. Number 1, what does yes and mean? Number 2, the power of yes and. Number 3, the keys of effectively using yes and. Number 4, how to apply yes and into your business. And then number 5, next steps. And let's start with this. What in the world does yes and mean? And this concept is something you learn in the very first day of improv. And it centers all around support and building on top of others' ideas. So when you're doing an improv scene, it might be you and 1 or 2 other people. So foundationally, yes and says, I am there to support you and to help you look good. And then number 2, it says, when you have an idea, I will build on top of that idea. Yes, and not break it down. So here's an example of this is we're going to start a scene and it's like, whoa, we're on a spaceship heading to the moon. And the next person can come on that and goes, yes, watch out. There's an asteroid right there. So you're building up on top of the idea. On the flip side, here's an example of where yes and does not apply. So I roll in and I've got a wheelbarrow and I'm like, oh my, this watermelon's super heavy. And the next person goes, that's not a watermelon, dummy. That's a dog. Immediately it stops the scene. While this may sound obvious, in everyday life and in business, there is often a series of ideas that either get shot down or built on top of. And the key, or I guess one of the foundations of all of this, is all around yes. This is accepting and acknowledging the idea that somebody has. And then the and is adding something to your own of it, building on top of this. So let's move on to number 2, the power of yes and. And there's 3 things in which yes and becomes so powerful. Number 1, it creates an environment where creativity can flourish. Number 2, it is super powerful for communication and teamwork. And number 3, it's a mindset. So let's break these down. So creating an environment where creativity can flourish. An example I like to give is basketball. In basketball, when the team is passing all around, there's energy to it. Everybody is involved. And the same is true when you have a yes and culture or environment where when you know there's others around you that are there to support and build up your ideas and it's a safe space, man, that creativity is contagious. There's an energy and everybody flourishes. And this is something that is foundational to what we've built at Unlimited. If you're looking for an environment that is very supportive to yes and your ideas in business and life, go to creatingunlimited.com and join us. Number 2, the powerful communication and how it helps with teamwork. Well, this is very simple because number 1, we're all on the same page because foundationally, yes and says, listen, I am there to support you and build you up. And for me, it's one of the things that makes me a great podcast host because I know when I've got a guest on there, I am there to help make them look good, build up their ideas. And while these things sound obvious, they're very simple to not do. Because when you come from this yes and place, you feel supported, you feel heard, and there is more flow in what you're doing. And you can just sort of wrap a bow on that with harmony. And the last part here is all around the mindset of yes and. Yes and is about open-mindedness, flexibility, fun, and support. And within this container and this structure, there's a lot of freedom to create a lot of good things. So let's move this on to number 3, the keys to yes and. And there's 5 of them. Number 1, be an active listener. Number 2, be open-minded. Number 3, add value. Number 4, stay present. And number 5, trust and support. So let's break these down. Being an active listener. And this is so key, and it is one of the biggest things I ever learned in improv. And it's why I would highly recommend not only everybody take an improv class, but especially if you're in sales. Because active listening is a superpower, because when you're on stage doing a scene with somebody else, so often we try and think about what we're going to say next. That is an immediate trap and stop in the world of yes and, because you want to build on somebody else's idea, not say this is what I'm going to do. And for this, slowing down and just listening to what the other person says is so important. And this is something that we can all work on, and I do on an active basis for myself. Number 2, be open-minded and be open to accepting new and unexpected ideas, which goes back to the listening. You might be thinking that the rocket ship is going to go one way, and then all of a sudden the scene goes in a different place. If you're still sitting there with your original idea, you're going to immediately crush the scene. Instead, you sit there and say, whoa, I didn't even know that possibility is there, but there are now aliens on that asteroid, and you're building up this new world. So be open to ideas in new and unexpected. Number 3, add value. So this is also an element of building on top of the ideas and adding new elements to it. And this is so foundational, because when we're building this world, it's layer, 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 layer. And the same is true for business. It's like cooking a chili where there's various components that just sort of stack on top of each other and marinate. Be someone who is value-driven, who adds on top of things, not brings them down. Number 4, stay present, because when you're in an improv scene, man, things will be coming fast at you. You're just saying to the audience, hey, give me a fruit. And they're like, strawberry, and boom. You got to be where your feet are there, not ahead in the moment. And you'll see these things are all just like one little inch apart from each other in the best way possible. But these are the ways that you become not only a good communicator and comedian at improv, but also in business in the way that you communicate and collaborate with others and your team. So focus on your moment, not what lies ahead. And then number 5, and this one is so important, is trust and support. When you're doing improv, you are there with somebody else. They are your teammate. So you're there to support them. They are there to support you. So yes, and brings that element of trust. You are working in harmony together. So number 4, how can we apply yes and in business and in everyday life? And I've got 3 simple examples for you. Number 1, create new possibilities. Number 2, strengthen relationships. And number 3, business growth. So let's break this down. Creating new possibilities. This, when the world of yes and, we can live in the world of innovation and creativity. This is the world that I love to live in all the time. Being open to new and unexpected possibilities. So now it's not just, this is the way that things have always been done. It's, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? Number 2, strengthen relationships. Well, how do you strengthen relationships? By being a better listener, by being a better communicator, by being present, by being quicker on your feet and your ability to respond, and to ultimately be a great collaboration partner. People want to do business with those they know, love, and trust. When you come from a yes and place, man, anyone who says, oh yeah, I took improv, immediately I'm like, you're my type of person, because you get what it means to be a great partner. And then lastly here, business growth. For sales, this is an absolute no-brainer, and it's one of the reasons why I took this. I didn't learn improv and comedy writing to become a comedian, but instead to learn the skill set so I could apply it to what I'm doing in business and as an entrepreneur and creator. So understand how to be good at relationships, how to be a good communicator, how to be someone that builds things up in the support of others. And then the next thing, and this is the higher level, is being a better leader. Yes and mindset helps you be a better leader in all areas of your life, because we live in a world of no, or let me tell you what's wrong with things. So being a yes and is refreshing. It's a light. It's something that you want to be a part of that will draw more people to you. And as a leader, this is a quality we all want more of. And the last part of this ultimately becomes culture. You can create and set a culture of yes and that's something that we've done with Unlimited, our community. Once again, you can go to creatingunlimited.com. It is a culture of people who are building up on ideas and supporting each other. And culture is contagious and something that will help set and guide where your business is going. So as we wrap a bow on this with next steps of yes and, my encouragement for you is, number one, think about where you are in a yes and mindset. Are you someone who always builds up on ideas, or do you catch yourself thinking about what you want to say before someone's done talking? Are you someone who brings ideas down? You might not consciously be aware of this, but my encouragement for you is to take a step back, slow down for an extra beat, an extra half second, allow that other person to finish what they are saying, and then acknowledge and say, yes, and. I love this so much that I've started to use yes and as a verb. It's a way of acknowledging, man, that's an amazing idea. I want to yes and what you just said. See if you can start saying that a little bit more in what happens in your business and your life. And I would love to hear from you. Are you someone who is about that yes and lifestyle, or have you taken an improv class? You can hit me up on social media at Rob Cressy. And if you're someone looking for a champion to yes and you in your business and all that you're looking to do in the world of AI and self-development, let's have a powerful conversation together. Shoot me an email, rob@robcressy.com. Sending tons of good vibes your way. Hope you have yourself an amazing rest of the day.